Hey there, English expanders. It's 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, and here I am with Expand Your English episode 3. Today I'm going to show you my top tip right before the day of the speaking test. As you know, I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for 14 years now. I'm Ágnes, Juba Nagy Ágnes, and I also have an online course which prepares students for the speaking test. And I have tons of private students as well because I'm a private tutor. I usually teach students online from the comfort of my home and from the comfort of their homes. So we study together, and I also shared this tip with all my students, but I'm sharing this right away with you too. And I'd like to ask you to stay until the very end of the show, because at the end I'm going to show you a wonderful opportunity how to take a look into my online program for free. So stay until the very end. It will take about 15 minutes while I'm sharing you my tips for today. And at the end of the show, I will tell you my secret, how you can take a closer look into my online program, which prepares students for the speaking test. As you know, and of course you know, because this is our third session, that every session starts with the question of the day. And today's question is, which language exam are you planning to take? Right? Write in the comments, which I'm checking continuously during the show. So write in the comments, which language exam are you planning to take? You know, when I was young, and I mean really young, it was 21 years ago when I took my language exam. And when I was young, 21 years ago, there was only one kind of language exam that you could take. It was the Origo exam, which is now Origo, but back in the day, 21 years ago, everybody called it the Rigo Utca language exam. And I took that exam 21 years ago. And, you know, my speaking test wasn't that beautiful. I passed it, okay? Let's be honest, I passed it somehow. My writing was much better than the speaking, so I passed my B2 level Origo exam 21 years ago, and I was really happy with that. I was in my 3rd year at secondary school. And what about you? Which exam are you planning to take? Is it Euro exam, TELTS, Origo, BME, or an IELTS or Cambridge exam? Now, tell me. I'm looking at the comments right now. I hope I will find them soon. Yes, nobody answered the question of the day, but don't worry, you will have time until the end of the show. So the question of the day is, which language exam are you planning to take? Now, my top tip today is just one thing. What you should do right before the day of the speaking test. And my very useful tactic here is start your only English day 24 hours before the exam, or before the speaking test, or the writing test as well. But it works best with the speaking test. So why I suggest you that you should speak and write only in English before the speaking test? It's easy. Because to speak a language, a different language than your mother tongue, you need some time to get accustomed to it, to get used to it, so that your brain warms up. And imagine the situation, you go into the institution, the place where the speaking test takes place, you're very nervous, right? Everybody is, because it's an exam. depends a lot on the results. Yeah, so you're nervous. Okay. You haven't spoken to anybody that day because early morning, nobody was at home, right? You're nervous, stressed out, and you go into the room. Okay, the examiners greet you in English. You don't know what to tell them, jó napot or good morning or whatever. You're not prepared for that. And then you sit down, you start your conversation with the examiners, and then in the 12th or 13th minute, somehow you feel, oh, I'm totally warmed up. Now we can start getting into serious topics. And then in the 15th minute, your exam is over. So you had 2 wonderful minutes in the exam. So usually it takes your brain to warm up for at least 12 or 15 minutes when you want to speak in a different language than your mother tongue. So this is why you should get warmed up before the speaking test. You know, sports people, athletes also warm up, or you also warm up before your gym session. So that's a very good idea to warm up before your speaking test. And what I teach my students, and also what I recommend that you should do, is start your only English day 24 hours before the speaking test. Now, you should decide to do everything in English that day. I mean, surround yourself with English and live your whole day in English. Now, tell me, have you ever spoken only English for a whole day or more? Type yes if that happens to you, or type no if you've never ever spoken only English for a whole day or more. I wish I knew about this tactic when I was preparing for my speaking test, because that way I wouldn't have been so awful in my speaking test. I asked you to tell me if you have ever lived a day in your life only in English. And I'm really curious about your answers, because if you have, that means a lot. It gives you such confidence and fluency that not many people can tell about themselves. Okay, now let's refresh. Let's look at the comments. I can see the comments coming in from my phone, but I can't see there. If you've... Yes, József said, yes, he has spoken for a whole day or more in English, and that's wonderful. And József, Origo, why you said, I've already taken Origo exam 3 times. B1, B2 and C1? Or were they successful exams? József, I hope you tell me yes. Okay, until the answers come in, I will tell you what you need to do in the last 24 hours before your speaking test. You should leave your mother tongue behind. Either if it's Hungarian or Slovakian or Arabic, you shouldn't speak in your mother tongue in the last 24 hours before the speaking test. Surround yourself with English, and you know what? Don't study for the test anymore. The last day doesn't count. Everybody knows that, who went to secondary school or who was preparing for a big university exam. You know that the last day, you know, you can't really learn anything serious that day, but you can put everything into practice. So I tell you not to study for the test, but listen to English, write in English, read in English, and speak in English as much as you can for one day. And of course, tell your whole family or friends or your partner what you're planning to do. Because believe me, if you don't tell them, they will tell that you're crazy, and they will They will not support you. But if you prepare them for what you're trying to do, then they will support you and they will leave you alone. And plus, if they speak English, they can also help you with their knowledge, maybe. What do you think your family or friends would say about this project? Would they support you in an only English day before the speaking test? What do you think? My family would have definitely supported me if they knew that I was going to do an English only day. But as I told you, I didn't know about this tactic when I was younger. And I will not say that this is the reason why I almost failed my speaking test, but it could have been. All right. József said, wow, he took lots of language exams. Congratulations, József. You said you took B2 in English, B1 in Serbian, B2 also in Serbian, and all successful exams. Hopefully, yes, I'm so happy for you. Right, and you're going to go for your C1 level in February. Fingers crossed, and prepare with us. And I guess you will have a successful exam because you're such an experienced exam taker. Right, and I hope you will also find this 24-hour only English day useful for preparing for your C1 English test. Right, now, so here are my top tips for you for the English only day. What to listen to? It's easy now, you know. BBC Radio 1, my favorite British radio. Podcasts in English. BBC 6 Minute English, The English We Speak, 6 Minutes Vocabulary, or the British Council's podcast, anything really. Your favorite series, your favorite film. You can do a whole 24-hour series marathon that day. Songs, your favorite songs. TV channels like BBC Entertainment or TED Talks. I don't know if you know about TED Talks, TED. These are not just motivational talks in English, but about all kinds of topics which are really interesting. And a TED Talk should not exceed the time of 18 minutes. So in 18 minutes, you get to know astrophysics or motivation or some medical fields that you have never heard before. And they are really, really useful also in language learning. What to read on this 24-hour marathon day? News sites like Daily Mail, Independent, CNN, whatever. Online magazines, Cosmopolitan, Shape for me, or Men's Health, Men's Fitness, or Forbes, The Times, maybe Newsweek. Read blogs like language learning blogs as well, and also any other blogs, really, whatever you like. And the best thing to read would be books in English or readers, you know, the graded readers which have all different levels, and it will give you a lot of sense of achievement. Okay, what to write? That's more difficult. Here you can practice the letters or essay types for your exam. But also you can start a blog that day. Why not? You can write about your experience and your journey in language learning, or comment on blogs or Facebook posts or Facebook groups like in English Expander group. You can. This is all writing which will help you develop. And how to speak in English in the last day during your in the last day before your exam. Now, you can find an online speaking partner. There are tons of language exchange sites which are either free or cost $10 an hour, and it's ideal for the day before the speaking test. You can find that in find speaking partners in italki or Verbling, or also somebody from the English Expander group. If you go to a school or to a language school, talk to your classmates or group mates in English. They will definitely help you on your journey. Or ask your friend who speaks a little English to help you talk through the topics for the exam. Or go to your private teacher and do most of the talking this time. Don't let your English teacher do the talking. Ask him or her to do most of the talking yourself. Now, these are my top tips for the last 24 hours before your speaking test. Now tell me, are you going to use that strategy right before your exam? If you think, yes, I definitely will, please send me a heart, you know, a red shaped heart, so that you will try this strategy right before your speaking test. And by the way, if you have any questions about preparation for the speaking test, then feel free to ask me and post in the comments anytime, because I'm eager to answer your questions. I want to hear about your problems. I want to hear about your difficulties, because in that way I can prepare better shows for you. I will know what you missed during your language studies. Right. And one more thing. Yes, before we end today's Expand Your English show, is that I mentioned you in the beginning that I have an online course which prepares students for the speaking test. It's called Speaking Exam Pass Program. And believe it or not, during the last half year, 7 of my students took successful speaking tests. 7. I'm so proud of them. And what I thought about is that why not give a chance to my English Expander fans to take a look into my speaking course or my Speaking Exam Pass program. And I thought that for one day I will open up module 1 of the Speaking Exam Pass program for everybody who is interested in it. If you are interested to take a look for free in my online program, then please type in englishexpander.net englishexpander.net/free. And then you will get every information about how you will get access to my online programs, module 1, for one day. So type in englishexpander.net/free and you will get a one-day chance on August the 9th, on Wednesday, to look into the program. All right, next week, unfortunately, I won't be able to be here for a lot of reasons. But first and foremost, my little son is going to be at home, so I'm not going to be able to have a show, because when he's at home, I'm not able to teach. He's 2.5 years old and he's a little angel, but of course he wants mommy so much that I can't I can't be alone and have a relaxed show just like that one. But I'm open to your problems, I'm open to your questions, and then I'm going to prepare a show about your questions, about your problems, so post them here. And also, if you want to have my tips in Hungarian, go to my blog, blog.englishexpander.net, or sign up for my 3-part video series in which I'm going to prepare you for the speaking test in Hungarian, but with one of my best tips. Go to englishexpander.net and sign up for my 3-part video series. Until then, I hope you will use my strategy which I shared with you today, and if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, nobody, only Joseph was brave enough to write some comments here. And right, then see you not next week, not the week after, but see you soon. And thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.